go find one and bring it in. That's not legal. So some of you are like, okay, I know. We have some special guests with us. You may not realize this. Can everybody turn around? Are you guys? Are they with us? Can we? Well, I'd like to welcome. Who's all on the other end of this? This is Steve and Jared and some of the hospital staff members there with us. Can we all just turn around and say good morning, we love you, Merry Christmas? I have so much to get through. I hope you guys, nobody has plans this afternoon, do you? Nothing going on? Can I just say Happy Mother's Day? Can we do that? Can we go ahead? Happy Mother's Day. We love you. And you guys, we know, right, this is for some of us here, when you have like Mother's Day and Father's Day and these kind of times where we recognize influential people in our lives. For some people, it's a kind of a bittersweet, it's a tearful. Some people don't want to, they dread this day because it reminds them of their mothers not being here or they've gone on before us. And I want to acknowledge that and just say, we see you, we hurt with you. If your mother's not here with you to celebrate, can we just sort of, we just do a virtual hug? Can we just hug each other? We love you, and I know that pain never goes away. But in the meantime, it doesn't mean we still can't, in our hearts, celebrate the moms who are here today. We are proud of you, we pray for you, we're thankful for you. Without moms, most of us wouldn't be here. If you're keeping score, Pastor Bingo, that is one of the required jokes for Mother's Day Sunday that pastors have to do, so check that out. I honestly have no idea where this message that I'm about to blurt out is going to go. And I know this comes as a shock to some people. There's been so much happening this week that I just wanted to share from my heart with you guys a little bit of what's going on. First of all, how great is our new sanctuary in here? Okay, there's a couple things. One is sort of a business thing of that. Okay, we weren't able to pay for all this. Okay, so we still owe on this stuff. No, I mean it comes out of our general fund. So if you have a blue envelope and you were thinking about maybe putting some in there and helping to support this program, this project. Even though we accomplished a lot of it, it's not all finished yet, we can still use funds for that. So they'll be like, oh, they're done. All right, I'm not going to get any money. We can still use some support to kind of recover some of the funds that went into this. I cannot express to you the depth of mess and chaos that was in this place. If you guys understood what was above your heads from week to week, what was going on underneath those tiles, yeah, we probably have like nobody here. So when they did the roof here, like they redid the decking and it all kind of fell on those tiles. So there was like 2 inches thick of debris and dust that was all sitting above those tiles. And so when we took it down, it was like an explosion of dust and cloud and everything. And you've seen some of the pictures that Joe was posting while we're in the process of renovating it. That doesn't do justice to how crazy messy it was in here. Joe, if you went to shake his hand, his arm is permanently kind of stuck in a position because of the spraying of the paint up here. So take it easy on him. I want to do something. If you were a part of, in any way, maybe you donated something, or if you donated some time, there were people that brought in food, there was all kinds of stuff, however little or extensive that was. Could you just stand up? If you were part of this project in there is a guy, and he's going to be mad at me. I know this. But can I just say thank you, Joe? You can be above and beyond the war. I know he said we do this in a week, and I'm like, sure. There were some times where it didn't seem like that was going to happen. Man, this guy just worked his tail off, and the sacrifice, it means a lot. It means a lot to all of us. We love you. Sir.
Emotions are showing.
Stop. Yeah, it gets worse. You know, there are certain phone calls or things that you get as a pastor, and then you're just never prepared for it. It doesn't matter how many times you've gone through similar situations. But I wish you guys were more careful. But every once in a while, somebody in our church, there's an accident or something happens, and one of the people that they get a hold of is the pastor. And I know you may not believe this, but I really cannot, I don't have medical powers. But when we talk about there's power in the name of Jesus, that's not just an idea. It's not just a concept that is out there in the ethos, like that makes us feel good, kind of like a platitude or like a placebo, you know? There is actual power in the name of Jesus in the prayers of His people. And so I get this text from Steve this week, or last week, I don't even know, what week is it? What day is it? And his son Jared had been injured at work, didn't really know any details. My first impulse was to try to let the church know and get them praying. And all we knew was he was being taken to the hospital, and I said, I'm on my way. Steve couldn't get right there. They had his work had dispatched somebody to pick up Renee and brought Renee to the emergency room, and I was able to meet her there. And at this point, we still had no real idea other than some vague details of how he was injured. It was a head injury at work. And, you can kind of get a sense when I'm trying to read, and Renee, I know you were too, I'm trying to read the medical staff, because they give all these clues out, because you can tell if they're nervous, or if they're really good at being professional and not letting some of that stuff out. But you can kind of get a sense that this is not just, we're going to slap a Band-Aid on here and send him home. And it got to the place where they decided they were going to transfer him down to Detroit. And we were going to go back and get a chance to see him the first time Renee was able to see him. And I'm sure you remember, Renee, I'm sure you remember what it was like walking back there. And you can't prepare for it. There's no way. Even if you know in your head it's going to be bad. And they tell you, by the way, there's tubes and things and stuff, and they tell you to try to get you ready for it. So we went back into the ER, and they had been treating him, trying to get him stabilized so they could transport him somewhere where we could get surgery. And it was bad. You get the sense that this is a very serious situation. And all I can think of, there wasn't a lot to say, all I can think of is we got to pray. We got to pray. What, you want to? You can come up anytime you want. Everybody would you support me? Do we have one of these that will work? Yeah. If I get the red one, is that all right? Yeah. It's your story. I'm just telling you that's how. All right.
You were there for me.
So we're back there. What were you thinking at this time?
I still didn't know what was going on. People are telling me I'm sorry, expect, and go back and see my child with baby on his head. The EMS, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to go
when you say that, I think it's hard for people to process. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with various head. This was a serious accident. The fact that he made it to the ER is in and of itself a miracle that went before any of our prayers. So I'm telling you guys, when you pray for each other, you don't always know what today is going to be, right? But did you have any idea that this was, your day was going to take this turn?
Basically a 40-pound something came out of a spinner and crushed his skull. The CAT scan was not good. Like I said, nobody wanted to right out and tell me that he's not going to make it. And I didn't know I was in shock. Steve didn't know anything. He was driving like crazy down to Detroit. They did brain surgery. They took out part of his skull. They took out part of his brain.
Like half of his, actually,
Half of
the right side, right here.
We had the head of neurosurgery at St. John's. He's the top third neurosurgeon in the state.
Well, before we get, one second. So I'm just trying to connect some dots for you in terms of answering prayers. And some of you guys have seen these with the updates and stuff, but I want to connect this trail a little bit. So once he's getting transferred down to Detroit, the conversations that we had with the medical staff, they weren't very positive. You know, they're trying to be nice, but in reality, they can't tell you he's going to be fine. Because there was a sense that he really may happen. I don't know if you picked that up. I was picking that up. Okay, good. I'm glad. But it was in my gut, like I was physically overwhelmed with, oh my goodness, this is where we might end up with this. So they're transferring him down to Detroit, and your brother took you and headed down there, and then we're going to get him into surgery as quick as possible. I want to tell you, because in that short of time, my phone was, all I had sent out was please pray. So you guys didn't know much else at that time. And my phone, people were like, are you okay? What's going on? Do you need help? What's happening? And so I'm trying to respond to everybody and get them kind of aware of generally what's going on. So I'm driving down to Detroit to meet them and hopefully catch Jared before he goes into surgery. And I'm driving down there, and I remember, and I'm going to tell you this because this theme kind of fits throughout the story. There was a physical presence in my car that changed tangibly my entire spirit. And it was so prominent and prevalent that I said, I have to look at what time this is. I have no idea. I had to look, so I looked at my phone. It was at 3:36. I'm like, it was that significant and that drastic. I'm like, I want to know what time it was. And it lifted the sense of dread, the sense of, I didn't want to, I'm like, well, I don't want to be there when you get the news that Jerry's not going to make it. I mean, I was going to be there. I would have been there. So, you know, I would have been. But I don't want to hear that any more than you did. I was like, I don't want to face it. And it changed. We found out later, while we were sitting in the room waiting for his first surgery to be done, which, by the way, he got the absolute top chief of staff of all the nurses. Like, he went to the head of the line of the very best. That was God right there. He happened to be there. He saw this case. He's like, I want that. I want to be there. He took it. We had the very best. It was amazing. Well, we're sitting there, and we were talking over things and trying to figure out what's going on, what's going to happen, and praying that the surgery goes well. And I said, oh, by the way, what's happening kind of around this time? Here's what's interesting. When you guys got to the ER at St. John's, they were picking up the same story that people in the ER up here had gotten, which was, this isn't good.
No, because it transferred from River District because it's the same affiliation.
Yeah.
So everything
here's what's interesting, because I couldn't tell you how many church people and other church people, it was going everywhere, were praying fervently at that time. At this time, the medical people we cannot give you really any hope. And there was, I think they were careful in saying, this is what we're going to do or what we're going to try. But there were no guarantees that this is going to work out. And I understand that. But there was a thing that happened around that time. They were taking some more scans. Because you got to understand the trauma that he faced in his skull, it was so devastating. It literally crushed the bone of his skull. It hit him so hard. And there was some fractures in his neck and his eye, right?
Yeah, around his eye.
Okay. So maybe this was a pretty serious thing. So they were seeing all that stuff, and I think they're thinking with their experience, there's no way the inside of his brain could really have much survived this kind of impact. But they came back, and it changed. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you hear me? It changed. Something changed. What they saw was different than what they thought they would see.
It was different from the CAT scan till when the doctor got in there and he said, this isn't as bad as we thought. It's all over there.
And it's okay. I mean, there have been different celebrations. We've had different celebrations throughout this whole journey so far. But at that time, when I was driving down there, my sense was, from the Spirit of God, he's going to be okay.
My drive down Tyler, there was just a calm. The storm came after. The system came in, but the calm was there for me.
So he gets out of his surgery. I'm just going to, I know we'll try to wrap this up. He gets out of his surgery. And we're talking to the surgeon, and he's explaining to us the various things that went right, and you get this sense, almost like he had taken this because he realized how severe it was, but when he got in there, it wasn't what he thought. And I'm just sitting there, I wanted to scream, well, because God was there. That's why. And listen, that's not to diminish the seriousness of his injuries and what the road that he has still to recover. We're believing in faith, and we have a sense that God is going to make a way.
God is making a way.
Yes.
Every day. Baby steps, we celebrate every baby step he takes.
I don't know what your favorite moment has been, other than you wish you didn't have any of this. I get it. But a few days ago, he smiled when I got. So just so you know what kind of power I have. The doctors and nurses were pretty much powerless, so they called me in. I'm like, I got this. That's not true at all. No, but what a blessing it was. We were talking a little bit in there, and I was talking to Jared, and he opened up his eye. Now, his one eye has been swollen, it's really been swollen, and kind of, which is a lot better, it's a lot better than it did. And so he opened his eye, and he's following me as I'm walking through his bed. And I wasn't really understanding, because they're talking about he's tracking. He's tracking me. I'm like, who's tracking? What's tracking me? He was following me around. And I got to the side of the bed, and I'm talking to him. Hey, buddy, how you doing? And it's so good to see you. You're looking better. I was just talking, just chit-chatting. And he goes, which doesn't seem like much to you, but in that moment, that was everything. It was one of the first facial expressions that he made. He smiled. He kept it up there for a little while we were talking. And what a beautiful thing to see. So I don't know, what have you learned? What would you like to share with everybody here in this process that you've got so far?
God is good, and God answers prayers.
Yes.
It is all God, and all of you love each other unconditionally. Your life can change in a blink of an eye. We've seen other families come through the SICU, some very rough ones. There's been 2 deaths. They go through so much for the staff and everybody that works there. Jared, please continue to pray for him. Every prayer counts. Since he had his trach surgery and PET line, he has been basically sleeping and not responding. Yesterday was a much better day, and he started squeezing towards the end of the day with his left hand, and he hasn't been able to move much on his left. So he was squeezing. I know a little on command, I'm taking it as such. And he also gave the neuro PA, doctor, whoever it was last night, a thumbs up, which is what they're looking for, because if you squeeze, if you put your fingers in, it's just their natural reaction. So they're looking for that thumbs up. His nurse last night was Jared, and
The nurse's name was Jared.
So he's J2 or J3, whatever one you want to call him. Sorry. He asked Jared to give him a thumbs up, and hey Jared, give him a thumbs up. Come on, man. How about give a thumbs up for your mom? And he just kind of went on like that, and just tears and tears of joy.
Yeah.
So please just keep him in your prayers. God, this is all God. I cannot say that enough.
So here's the thing. I think we'll take off yet. It's not. This is just a crazy time. So not only we had all this going on here, I don't know. I mean, Jim, your father passed away recently.
Friday morning.
I know it wasn't like you didn't see any of this coming, and I know you celebrate, but it's tough, and we just want you to know we love you, and we're here for you. Just more hugs. I was just talking to Billy's, your mom is having some heart issues. Billy Burns' mom. Gordy's sister is in the hospital with surgery. I think Linda Ostrander has been struggling. Just so many things going on. But our God is able. I can't focus on it. I can hardly focus on stepping one foot in front of the other sometimes. But God is able to, at the same time, be fully present in each one of these moments. And it's amazing to me. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pray for a minute. Can we do that? And I'm not going to make you get out of it. We all just stand together in agreement in prayer. You can sit for a little bit and just shake out your legs some. We're going to pray for Renee. We're going to pray for Jared. We're going to pray for Jim's family. We're going to pray for Gordy's sister. We're going to pray for Linda. We're going to pray for all the things. And if there's something else, another concern that you have or need that you have, can I just tell you that it matters when we pray, God hears us. He listens and He responds, and He is good. Heavenly Father, we stand before you this morning as grateful children of a good Father. And when times are tough and things are difficult, you're not always shielding us from life, but you give us hope, and you give us strength to endure. You help us to persevere. So God, I pray for miracles. I pray for healing. I pray for that healing not to just be physical, but the emotional and spiritual scars that sometimes happen when we go through these kinds of trauma and these kinds of situations in our life. God, would you heal, bring hope and help to all of us. And God, may that sense of peace that you provide, that goes way beyond understanding and circumstance, be the atmosphere in all of our lives, that no matter what we're facing, whatever giants are in our way, whatever difficulties are confronting us, that we serve a powerful God who loves us. So God, I pray for your glory in all this. We want to give you credit for all that you're doing and have done, and we believe you will do. For it is your work. We are the sum of your faithfulness to us. We are grateful. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you. That's our own little sound effect. Well, how do you follow that up? The answer is no. But I do have some scripture for us. I was thinking about how to put words to kind of some of all the stuff that's going on. And I was brought to a story in Kings. In 2 Kings chapter 6. Now, how many of you are aware of who Elijah and Elisha were? Two prophets of God. Elijah, he's the one that came before and actually was by a whirlwind in a chariot taken into heaven. He's the one guy that never died, right? He was actually taken up into heaven before he died. So that's kind of cool. His student, his name was Elisha. All right, so you're familiar with these two guys? These were prophets of God, and we hear all kinds of stories about these guys throughout the Old Testament. It's amazing, amazing things that happen. This is maybe somewhat of a more obscure story. It's very small, so for those of you wondering about getting a lunch, give me a minute. So Elijah is gone, and he has passed on the process of this being a prophet to Elisha, his student. And now they've really grown. So 2 Kings chapter 6 says this: the company of the prophets said to Elisha, "Look, the place where we meet with you is too small for us." Okay? I can't wait until we get to say that. Let me be clear. Yeah, we let us work, but guys, sorry, it's too small. Sorry, Joe, it's probably going to be too small. We're going to have to build a wall out, maybe. We can just take this roof, just go out that way, maybe just blow out this wall.
Just give me 1 week.
He's like, come on, dude, we just got this done, let's not go into another project. Okay, so he goes, these people said, let us go to the Jordan where each of us can get a pole, and let's build a place for us to live. And he said, go. And he did. And then one of them said, won't you please come with your servants? I will, Elisha replied. And he went with them. And they went to the Jordan and began to cut down trees. And one of them was cutting down a tree, and the iron axe head fell into the water. Oh my Lord, he cried out. It was borrowed. You ever had an accident, or you bump your foot, or you hit yourself with a hammer and go, oh my Lord. So this guy was distressed. I don't know what this group of people did to survive and how they were supported and whatnot exactly. But he had to borrow this axe head, this iron axe head, and while they were cutting down trees to build this place for this group of prophets and students, he lost it. He was swinging and went flying and went right into the river. You ever had your cell phone do that? Whoa! Drop in the toilet or something? Come on, I know some of you had cell phones dropped in the toilet. Yeah. Raise your hand. Raise the Lord. And you said, oh my. Goodness.
A reasonable fact.
So he's worried, he says it's borrowed, and listen to what happens after that. He said, the man of God asked, where did it fall? And when he showed him the place, Elisha cut a stick and threw it in there, and he made the iron float. Lift it out, he said, and then the man reached out his hand and took it. Okay, so I'm just going to warn you ahead of time. Just going to put it out there. I'm totally going to spiritualize this here in a second. I want to preface it by saying I believe that literally Elisha took a stick. I don't know what kind of stick, if it was a special, I don't know, he took a stick and he put it in the water. He had the guy show him where it fell in, he put the stick in, and I believe literally the axe head came to the top of the water and the guy went and grabbed it. Because I believe in miracles. I believe that there are things that are unexplainable by any other fashion or means other than God did it and made it happen. There is no other human explanation, there is no scientific explanation, no other physical properties that explain how this happened other than God intervened and changed the trajectory of something and made something happen that was not yet. And that's a powerful thing. I want to also, before I go on to spiritualize this, I want to also indicate that one of the things, it's Mother's Day. I was thinking about Mother's Day, and I was thinking about my mom's here. One of the things I learned from my mom that's most significant and prominent in my brain, other than the time that she scolded me, still have today. I didn't deserve all that. No, I did. I totally did. My mom has taught me and instilled in me the power and importance of prayer. It was sometimes to the extent in which it was annoying. My mom prays for everything. You may not know that. She prays when she needs to pray and doesn't need to pray. She prayed for us when we were doing well and when we were not doing well. She prayed. I remember looking for mom, you know kids do, and I remember hearing her pray for us by name without even knowing that I was listening. I know that my mom prayed when we didn't have food, when we needed something, when the car was broken, she prayed. When we needed a bill paid, when we didn't have enough to cover it, she prayed. And here's what else I saw. I saw God move and change things that were not and made them so. I can't tell you the amount of times that somebody brought something to us. My mom would pray. She literally had nothing to cook. And she would pray, and you'd hear her knock on the door, and there'd be somebody standing there with groceries. You figure that out. It's like, hey mom, pray for an Xbox. They didn't have Xbox. That's a trick. But I saw the power of prayer. I saw miracles, and I've seen miracles this week. I've seen miracles in this church. I've seen God move when His people pray, and it's a powerful thing. So if you're here this morning, you're like, yeah, but I've asked for things and I've needed miracles and it didn't come or it wasn't the way I thought it was going to be. I get that. I understand. I pray that God will help you to see it in a way that will be more positive for you. But I understand how that feels. That maybe God didn't come through for you. I get the frustration with that. But don't stop praying. Don't stop seeking. Don't stop being persistent in your prayers, because it may not happen exactly the way or exactly when you expected it to happen, but if you continue to pray, I promise you something will happen and God will answer you. There, I put my whole reputation on the line. It didn't take very long. Don't stop praying. If something hasn't happened, or if you haven't seen it or didn't notice it, keep praying. Ask other people to pray with you. I don't care if you think it's small, or if you think it's a big deal, if you think it doesn't matter. If it's going on in your life, and it has an impact impacting you or those you love and people around you, pray. If there's somebody that doesn't know Jesus and you're not sure if they ever will accept him, don't stop praying, because I can't tell you how many people will be in the kingdom of heaven that are there because somebody didn't stop praying for them to believe. Pray. So this guy loses his accent, right? And this is the spiritualization part. Have you ever felt lost? Have you ever felt like something was missing? Have you ever felt like you needed something from God? And it says that the man of God said, what happened here? He said, where did you lose it? He takes him back to that place where he lost it. He says, point to where it was. He said, there. And he throws the stick in. And he comes up and he says, reach out and grab it. Here's the thing. If you've lost something, go back to where you lost it. If you feel disconnected from God, if you feel like you can't reach him, go back to where you lost that. He said, point to where you lost it. He said, I lost it right here. And then he did a miracle and brought it back. God can restore your hope. He can restore your faith. He can restore your joy and your peace. If you've lost it, go back to where you lost it and tell Jesus, I lost it right here. I need it back. And he can do a miracle and restore that which was lost, that which was broken, that which was taken away, and he can raise it back to the surface and you can have it once again. I believe in miracles. And I believe when we lose things that we once had, God can restore them. If you're here this morning and you're like, I've lost my joy, I've lost my peace, I've lost my... Only just a point there. I want to pray with you in a second. I'm going to ask God to begin to restore those things that we lost. Let's bow our heads for a minute. Heavenly Father, we come to you because we believe that you are able to do all things, that there is nothing that is impossible for you. In the name of Jesus. There are those here this morning who have lost things. Maybe they've lost hope, maybe they've lost courage, maybe they've lost strength. And so for each one of us, maybe wherever it is that we feel lost, and I want to point to that. Go ahead, right now in your mind, just point to that. I've lost this. Maybe you can't remember exactly where you lost it, but you know it's gone. So God, you see the things that we're pointing to. You see the things that we are lacking. I pray that you would begin to restore. Rise up to the surface. Our sense of joy and peace. And I pray that you would restore things that are lost back to being made new again. Do this miracle in us for your glory, God. There are some things only you can accomplish, and we acknowledge that. I can't just restore some of the things in my own effort. So God, I pray for you to move, to change, to bring restoration in us. We pray in Jesus' name. You stand with me as we sing together as we worship the Lord.